Hey guys, I wanted to talk about my last video because there was a lot of stuff that I just didn't really sit right with me. So before I do this next video, I just want to say a couple things. I, for a long time when I was a kid, was talked down to a lot and just insulted, and early on and even into middle school until I really hit puberty, was just picked on and just said mean things to. And so when I created this YouTube channel, I envisioned that I would be able to kind of speak my opinion, make people's days better by posting good content and just overall having like fun discussions that we can talk about. And I had a lot of people just be very disrespectful to me in the comments, and it's a lot of the people are people that have been disrespectful to me in other videos, in my live streams. I've had people message me on Discord just saying very disrespectful things, guys, and that's just something I just don't tolerate. So I did say, so I clapped back. I said a lot of stuff back to people that disrespected me. And from now on, I'm just gonna block you from commenting on the channel. I just don't want to deal with that, guys. Like, I love this game and I love most of the community, and just the few bad apples that are just like constantly talking down to me like I'm just like some like worthless scum, and like my opinion doesn't matter at all. That just really bothered me. So for 99% of you guys out there, I don't want your opinion of me to change because I've clapped back on a couple people that were just being disrespectful. It's just something that just really gets on my nerves. Without further ado, let me talk about what we want to talk about in this video. In my last video, I talked about the possibility of Lin, Newgate, and one of the law characters being put on the ban list. And this isn't something that I necessarily want to happen. This is something that I have heard a lot of people talk about that I can agree with. And the only reason I would put the only reason Big Mom would ever get banned, or not, I'm sorry, not banned, restricted or banned, either one, is if Edward Newgate and Law were restricted in some way. Because if Law and Newgate were restricted in some way, Katakuri would be dominant. I mean, it would be the overwhelming favorite in every single tournament if someone's playing it. And I put together a little graph. Not a graph. I put together a little thing right here of all the decks that Katakuri is either good into or at least neutral, right? And look at all these decks. We have Doflamingo, Blurple Kaido, Blurple Croc, Z, Smoker, Ace, Kuro, Arlong, Crocodile, Kid, Luffy, Showtime Crocodile, which is purple and yellow, Rebecca, Lucci, and Nami, right? And that's, I'm not including Zoro, but I've seen a lot of people, Zoro players, lose to Katakuri recently just because the amount of triggers that we have in this game now, to kind of deal with their aggression. And it's cards like Sanji now with Beige, and then going for game, they used to play just like Chopper and Pass, and now we have Struzen and Amande. So that matchup can be a little dicey too. So obviously, if Law and Whitebeard are the two decks that are holding this deck down, and this deck is either good into, or at least 50-50 on all of these matchups, then obviously it would, 10 cost Big Mom would have to get restricted in some way. I'm not saying that I want it to happen. I'm just saying that it has to happen just for the game to be healthy, if those cards were to be restricted. Now, I want to respond to a couple of the comments, and I'll try to find them and edit them into this video. I had a couple people say that I was biased towards certain colors. And if you guys have been watching this channel for a long time, you know that I am I like blue decks, but I actually played Katakuri, and Katakuri, I quit back in, set 2, because I just didn't like red decks, just dominating everything. And when set 3 came out, I really liked playing Katakuri, so that's actually why I came back. And, the day of the video that I made, I played Katakuri in a tournament and got first place at my locals. So I don't hate Katakuri. I think it's a good deck. I think it requires a little bit of skill in certain situations. But it's definitely the easiest deck to learn, and it has a very high floor because all the cards just do what they should do, right? Like, you play a vanilla, it's a strong vanilla. It's hard to take it down. You play Big Mom, you gain life. It just does what it's supposed to do. And then also we're talking about another comment mentioned Red Rock, right? How I'm not talking about Red Rock in my video about Red Rock getting banned. And we're just not at that point yet, guys. We're not at that point where where Red Rock is a massive problem. And if Red Rock ever was a massive problem, I would definitely call for it to be banned. Even now, when I'm not, if I'm playing like Katakuri or, I played Film Dofi today in my store championship. If I'm playing those cards or those decks and I'm just getting like Red Rock constantly, and, the meta is just overrun by blue and everything is just getting, bottom deck the turn they're played. And that's a problem. People are quitting the game because of it. I would definitely talk about it. I think that's something that would, that just hasn't happened yet. So of course there's no reason to talk about it. Another comment said, instead of, clamoring for bans like Super Smash Brothers players, then, why don't we just try to stick the format out? And we tried that for, I said that in my video too with Whitebeard. We tried sticking the format out for, 2 formats with Whitebeard, now 3. We had Whitebeard dominate in set 2. We had Whitebeard dominate in set 3. And we have Whitebeard so far doing very well, dominating the top 32 of set 4. So we've tried waiting it out, like obviously Whitebeard, might not be played as much, or it might not be as good in set 5. We'll see. But you got to admit, when a deck is, dominant for 3 formats in a row, that's not really good for the game. It holds back so many decks from being played, and just like people want to have fun playing the game. And when they're just getting run over by Whitebeard in like every single tournament, it's going to be pretty annoying. People come back to see that what the new decks are like, what new leaders are like, what new cards can do. And when they see a deck from OPO2 come out, and just stomp everyone, they're like, damn, like maybe I'll come back next set. Maybe I'll come back next set. And people have been doing that since set 2. So, sorry for the background noise. They're watching football out there. I'm about to join them after this. But yeah, guys, that's one comment. Let me respond to another one. These are some of my favorite ones. So a couple people said skill issue, stuff like that. Oh, it's a skill issue. It's a lack of awareness issue. I actually deleted these comments, or I blocked them from commenting on the channel, so I can't actually see them myself. But a couple people said that on the video, saying it's a skill issue that I myself can't beat Whitebeard, which is just one that just makes me laugh, because it's not just me that it's hard to beat Whitebeard when you're not playing Whitebeard. It's literally the entire universe that plays One Piece. And the reason that is because Whitebeard is just so good. It's such a good deck. It's like any tier 1 deck. It's not a skill issue if you lose to it, right? It's just the deck is really good. And another person said lack of awareness, of how to play against Whitebeard. It's not at this point. We've all played against it for 2 formats in a row, about to be 3 formats in a row, and it's not like we don't understand how to play against Whitebeard. It's just like you need to have like so many 2Ks and blockers, and you need to find a way to deal with their ace. You need to find a way to deal with Atmos and Luffy and all their blockers and survive. Like, it is so tough, guys, unless you're playing like Law or Zoro, especially in the past. Like, it's very tough to do that. Even top 2 in this format has been Zoro and Whitebeard. It's not that we don't know how to play against these decks. They're just so good at what they do, guys. So it's not like that, right? Let me respond to like 1 or 2 more, and then we'll call the end of the video. And one of my favorite ones too is some guy accused me of being a Zoro player because I said I played Zoro for 1 regionals. Guys, I'm not a Zoro. Everyone that's watched my channel knows I'm not a Zoro player, right? Like, Zoro, I hate Zoro. I tell all my friends at locals, I'm like, every time I won like 7 tournaments at locals with Zoro, and I was like, yeah, I don't ever want to play this deck again. Like, it was boring and I hated it. I only played Zoro for those locals because I wanted to practice for the regionals coming up. But as soon as the regionals is over, I dropped that deck super quick. And then the other one that I want to talk about, it says here, let me read this word for word. It says, what's the difference between stacking Kuzans, the 10 drop, or Don Quixote 10 drops? If bans like this start now, when will it end? It needs to stop, and players need to learn to adapt and anticipate. First off, my brother in Christ, Kuzan, no one in the history of the world has ever said Kuzan was OP. Even another person said people were calling for 10-drop Kaido to be banned. What person ever called for 10-drop Kaido to be banned? That person probably just doesn't have like a brain. I'm not kidding, because no one has ever complained about 10-drop Kuzan or 10-drop Kaido. Like, no one has ever complained that they are unbalanced. 10 drop Kuzan only kills a 5, and it's a 10 cost 10,000 power. That is like super easy to play around, right? Not only can you like rush him like so that he can't even drop it, you know, if you play like fast decks, but now even even in set 3, like there's so many cards like get rid of like Kuzan. Like you had like even black decks had like you know, Tsuru and Katakuri. Like there's a lot of ways to get rid of Kuzan. And the difference is the on play effect for 10 cost Big Mom. When it on play, it is a 2 life swing, and if it sticks around for another turn, it's either going to take a life, make you discard like 7 cards in hand, or it's going to require a block. Those are the only 3 things that can happen if it stays on the field. That card is ridiculously good, and by the time like even if you get rid of it with Red Rock, right, it already got its effect. The job is already done. So like Kuzan is not nearly as good because it's not as nearly as detrimental. Even Kaido, 10 cost Kaido that board wipes, has to Dawn -6. Even with Onigashima, you'll be at 7 Dawn the next turn, and you just better hope they don't have an answer for your 10 drop Kaido, right? And even 10 drop Kaido, you can just chump block it for the rest of the game. It doesn't take your life, so you have to like, oh, you know, if I don't draw blockers for the next couple turns, then I'm gonna lose. Like it does. It's not like that. You still have life to give. And then also, guys, the life. Another person mentioned this, and I agree with this. I forgot the comment, but the life that you get from Big Mom can be a variety of things that will help you like win the game. It could be a beige, it could be a brulee Sanji, it can be a cracker Parasparrow, it could be a Thunderbolt, it could be a Shirahoshi, it can be a lot of different things, guys. So like, and you know, especially back-to-back 10 drop Big Moms, it's a 4 life swing. Even if both of them are red rocked, you have 4 Dawn remaining to do whatever it is, you know. Most likely at that point play a blocker, because now you're down 2 life and they gain 2 life, which, you know, could be anything, like I said. But yeah, guys, that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. That's just kind of like my feedback from all the comments that I got. In the future, I am going to try not to clap back as much as I have. I'm just going to block them from the channel because I do like making these videos, and I just don't like people being like openly disrespectful to me. I think that's just not something that I like signed up for, and that's not something that I'll tolerate. But guys, let me know what you think in the comments. I'm down to have a civilized discussion. Just don't be disrespectful to me, okay? Like if you want to talk about it in the comments or even in my Discord, we can talk about it. Just don't be like, oh, you're trash, you know nothing about the game, blah blah blah. Like guys, like that's just like, would you tell that to someone at your locals? Like if you were talking to me in person and I told you my opinion on something, would you be like, wow, you're absolutely dog shit, you know nothing? You wouldn't do that. It's just like not something humans would do to another human. That's like so stupid. So like, don't do that to me in the comments, guys. Like it's not that hard. Like if you don't like my videos, just don't watch them. It's not a big deal. But like to like try to like go out of your way to insult people just really bothers me to like no end. But yeah, with that being said, let me know what you guys think in the comments. We can have a civilized discussion, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Peace.